All right, ladies and gentlemen, Marco DC, thanks you for watching. Totally enjoyed the show. Now, guys, Pete Davidson and Kanye West, that whole story, I'm oftentimes criticizing it, not necessarily in a bad way, really, but just like, why are they so famous? I just don't understand. Like, even Kim Kardashian, I know she's really pretty, and she has a huge famous show, and the Kardashians are all famous, and they're talked about nonstop, and they focus on them constantly. I really don't know what the fuss is about. I know it's like they're very, like Kanye West and Pete Davidson. I mean, I don't think they're that good looking. Not that they're not good looking. They're not ugly or anything. They're not hideous. They're good looking enough that they're good looking. But like I don't think they're like this huge deal. I really don't think they're like, and they are a huge deal, right? Because they both have a lot of money. They both do have looks. But I really feel that they're not like overly, that I think they're overly overrated. It's not like they're. I really think they're overrated. And I think we all see Kanye West as kind of like a troublemaker or like a dealing with mishaps or just really a total train wreck. And I guess he is bipolar. I think that's what they say. He is bipolar. But I really think he's got $6.6 billion. It does not mean that he's doing well necessarily. Just because he has that much money doesn't mean he's doing well. But I really think, that having bipolar, and he has bipolar, right? So he could be like in a really bad bind. We really feel for him. I don't want to say anything too negative because I want him to get out of this rut that he's in. But it's like, and being rich does not necessarily mean mental illness doesn't ruin your life, or being rich does not necessarily mean that you're not gonna. Oh, you're gonna, yeah. Being rich does not necessarily mean you're gonna be successful for life and you're happy and all that. You can be miserable with depression, or not even depression, but just miserable in general. You could be someone that um, has mental illness that's a psychotic mental illness, or how do they call it? Uh, some yeah, I guess it's like where you have to get antipsychotics. But really, I mean, he had $6.6 billion, and that's a lot of money, right? That's a ton of money, and for sure, obviously we want to make sure his mental health is good. He might be really in a bad bind, right? So we want to make sure we go easy on him. It's important that we reflect on him in a positive way. Just because he has $6.6 billion does not mean that he's happy, right? I mean, you would think that. I mean, for me, if I had that much money, I'd be pretty happy, but not everyone is, right? So we have to really go easy on him, and he's in the spotlight a lot, right? And he just lost out on Kim Kardashian, and Kim Kardashian. Don't get me wrong, she is very, very beautiful. I really know she's beautiful. Obviously she's beautiful, but for me, I just don't think she's that great. I don't know why. I mean, when I see her, sometimes I'm like, yes, she's really, really great. I love her. She's amazing. And I do love her very much in terms of her ability to draw up attention. But sometimes I'm like, she's overrated. Now, she is pretty, don't get me wrong. And if I looked at her best look ever, I bet you I think it's Drop Dead Gorgeous, right? I think it's like super good. But, sometimes you're just like, you've heard enough of a person and you're like, oh my god. But I mean, and the other point that I was trying to make on this is that sometimes you see a person and you're like, hey, they talk about them nonstop. All these conversations are silly. They have all these relationship conversations and divorce, whatever. But they're entertaining, right? And they're valuable to us because sometimes we hear about murders and death and celebrities dying and people dying, and in the news we hear negativity. So sometimes it's a really positive thing to hear about Kim Kardashian and Kanye West doing their thing, living their best lives, dealing with whatever they're dealing with. Sort of watching rich people problems helps make things easier. I know it's like, if you're like me, you're like, well, what? what would make it easier for me to deal with my issues that I might have, right? So you're like, well, what issues do you have? Well, you watch those people and you somehow feel better, right? That's what entertainment is meant to do. You're supposed to feel better when you watch entertainment, darling. Bye now. Totally enjoy the show. Bye now.